What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today I'm going to be doing my disassembly and maintenance of the Schrade Radoks. This one still absolutely is my favorite of all the ones that Schrade sent to me to check out. I just like this one. It vibes with me overall. The ergonomics on this really nice. Slicey geometry. This thing came with a fantastic edge from the factory. I've used it a ton. So what I'm going to be doing today, since this is a crossbar lock style knife, I figured anyone that might grab one of these might be interested in the maintenance. Now, I will say you can do full maintenance actually just taking the pivot out and pulling it straight out. So that's actually what I decided I'm going to go ahead and do today. Also, I have found that they used a very good white Loctite. So I do recommend a good set of Weehaw bits for you to do that disassembly. I struggled a little bit with the Truex, so I am a little bit more prepared today to do the disassembly and maintenance for this particular knife. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We're going to be doing a pivot only disassembly, so you can see how it is intended for you to be able to maintenance this knife just taking the pivot out. So I'm going to try my luck and see if I can. Now I feel like it's moving on the other side already. It's a little hard for me to do this away from camera. I actually find getting it in closer works better for me. So I'm going to try to get the tension going first, if I can get it in the hole there. And you see how it wants to wobble. So I am trying with gloves to just hold the left one in hand and backing the screw out while pinning it to the mat. And since the mat is rubberized, it does keep it from sliding, which helps a ton. So get your first screw out, and then your second screw may or may not come out. No, it doesn't want to come out. So what you can do at this point is just go about halfway. Very carefully go ahead and eject the pin out all the way. And then you can go ahead and rotate the knife the rest of the way open. This is also how you can go about lining it up. So you'll just do this in reverse order. You'll push the pin out by doing it that way. Let's see here. It's very interesting because it's not all the way closed. And I am just noticing it looks like this bolt is not in here even, or maybe it is a little off. That is concerning because it looks like it could be cross-threaded. No, maybe not. Maybe it was just the angle I had it. It might have just been the angle I had it. Let's see here. It does look like it's cocked just a little bit there. Anyway, we'll go ahead and finish with the maintenance piece of it. So this is the easy way to disassemble this knife, is actually taking the pivot out, and then everything should slide with the blade. So you'll see there the bearings are actually facing with the closed side out and the open side facing the steel. So make note of that as you disassemble the knife. You can go ahead and pull it the rest of the way out, and this is definitely the easiest way to do your maintenance on this knife. Now, if you need to get to the Omega springs, you're going to want to at least disassemble one side of the blade, or not the blade, but you're going to want to take the scales off. I don't know why I said one side. It's very challenging because none of these have captive pivots. So I would like to see them at least do like the captive tip and make it D-shaped on the steel liners, and that would definitely make it a whole lot easier to clean. So let's see here. Starting to get a track from where I've been fidgeting with the knife, carrying it, and I definitely recommend trying to dry clean it first so that you can lube it, but it seems pretty gummed up here. So what I'm probably going to do is grab my other cloth really quick and my rubbing alcohol. I'll spray the cloth. I'm going to move this stuff to the side real quick. Let me grab that. So what you can do here, just a little bit of rubbing alcohol on a microfiber cloth. It's not going to evaporate too fast. And then what you can do is you can just use that to finish cleaning out the pivot. It should get any type of factory grease or anything like that off of the blade itself, and it should come really clean. It looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. You can see there the S35 VM blade steel, in case you missed the review and you're just looking for a disassembly and maintenance video. Alright, so what I'll probably do, because what I learned on the Truex is they're actually using stainless steel bearings. They are not using ceramic bearings in the pivot. So I'm going to do just a dry clean. There's nothing wrong with steel bearings. Just be careful if you're in a climate where you have to worry about moisture or corrosion. You're going to want to go ahead and probably just pick up a set of skiff bearings. And I would honestly say, like this knife, all their knives, you know, seem like they're doing good for their first attempt at manufacturing. There's just a few minor things that could make the knives really impactful in the industry, but I would say ceramic bearings would be nice, you know, a nice to have, not necessarily that you have to have it. And I am going to reassemble the knife, and then I'll show you how to get to the Omega springs. But what I would say in this instance is ceramic bearing. So if you remember, it was closed side facing out, open side facing in. Go ahead and lube one side at a time. You're going to have to sandwich these, which will make it a little bit challenging, but that's pretty much par for the course when it comes to Omega locks, or not Omega locks, crossbar locks. Lord have mercy, forgive me. It is a little bit early. I did a bunch of filming yesterday, and I'm a little behind, so I'm doing like a ton of recordings this weekend, so I am a little tired, and I apologize if that's coming through. I try not to let that affect me behind the camera with this. So now that you have this sandwiched, depending on your preference, right hand or left hand, what you can do is you can use the actual knife itself to hold them in place. Because they are recessed, it does make this a little bit easier for the reinstallation. So you have it to where you just need to get the pivot going through with the knife, and it looks like you're gonna have to pull the crossbar lock back. So in this instance, because the Radok almost sits flush, it's going to be easier to get it started by laying it on its spine and then pulling the crossbar lock back, and then you should be able to just push the pin straight through. So that is for if you're interested in the maintenance. What I'm going to be doing at this point, you would just need to reinstall your pivot bolt, go ahead and finish with the installation and wrap it up. I'm just going to take apart one side to show you how to get to the Omega springs. This should be relatively easy. If you've ever removed a scale, it's really just going to be the same thing. So we'll take the pocket clip off, and we'll hope, knock on wood, that the bolts will come loose. So I'm just going to use my finger, my index finger, to secure this pivot to make sure that it's not moving. And then I believe these are T6. Yeah, so we'll go ahead, remove the pocket clip. And the pocket clip on this knife, the design's not awful. I just think the fold over pocket clip that you found on the Truex would have been better, in my opinion, for this knife. I think it would have just been simple, use the recessed flat screws, and I think it would actually look better and function better ergonomically, because you're not having that really push out on you. You're having it lay more flat. I think it's a really well done pocket clip as far as the design, but I think they just need to do the recessed flathead screws for that pocket clip, and then it will go all the way deep carry, because on that pocket clip, because they're button style bolts, they just kind of get in the way of it going down into the pocket clip. So you see you have a couple more hidden bolts here. What you'll want to do is remove these two bolts. If you do find or run into, I'm going to move all of this out of the way because I don't want to get anything mixed up. I don't think I would, but just in case, I'm going to use the tray to keep track of it. So same thing, I am trying to angle it here so that you can see how to get to everything, but it's going to be the same thing here. Ooh, these are in here tighter. So I am going to wrench down a little bit. This is why you definitely want good hardware. Oh, I don't want to strip that. So give me a second. Let me close the blade. And I might go inside. I have a, let's see. Now it's starting to spin. 1 second, I'm gonna go get my other, actually, you know what? I wonder, I've never tried this, and I'm going to give it a shot. What I have inside, I think it's the bit volt, I think is what it's called. And I have found that when I get into these situations like this, it gives me more to grip onto. That is stripping out, and I think it's stripping my bolt. Let's see here. Okay, so this side is loose, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on with the other side. We'll get this apart and have a look at it. Once I get this off. All right, so that is this side. Are they all like this? Yeah, this is fine. There we go. Oh, it slides. Let me see. What is happening here? Do you need, okay, so the pivot, because the pivot's still loose? I'm guessing because the pivot's still loose. All right, so what we'll do, we're going to open this up. We're going to use the trick that I mentioned earlier, where you're just going to push this through. At the same time, you're going to pull the lock back, and that'll keep everything lined up. Okay, so this will allow you to completely remove the scale, and then that is how you get to the crossbar lock. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to have a look at this bolt and see what's going on with it to see if I can figure it out. But what you would do is you would pull your Omega spring out of this steel liner, meaning up and out, and then you should be able to slide it off the crossbar lock, and you can totally break the knife down. I want to actually just stop the video for a moment and see what's going on with the bolt on the other side. Okay, so we're back, and ooh, almost lost that. I've been able to try to fidget with this without taking the tool out of the pivot so I can get everything back in. I'm not able to figure out what's going on with this, and I didn't want to keep working at it because this is the disadvantage with the T6, is it's going to damage the screw and it's going to damage the head of the tool that you're using. So I'm going to order another T6 from Weehaw Bits to see if I can replace this one, because I'm afraid that it's going to be, I probably have damaged this at this point, and I don't want to use this on any other ones. So I'll probably reach out to Schrade to see what they want to do about this particular bolt. It doesn't make it so it's not serviceable. It's just you're not able to completely break the knife down for like a full deep cleaning. You'll be able to get to the Omega springs on the other side, but you can't get to it on this side if it were to break down. The only thing that I could think that you could do is you could probably use a set of pliers to try to hold that down and take the screws loose, but they're so tight that it's sandwiched on the scale, and I don't think you'll be able to repair that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this scale back on, and I'm going to feed the pivot through like I mentioned earlier. Oops. There we go. All right, I got to find my pivot. There we go. Pivot. Hold on, don't slide out. I'm not ready for you to slide out. So what you'll do is you'll take the pivot and you'll put it on top of this, and then as you're sliding it, just work your crossbar lock back, and it should allow it to go all the way through. Yeah, there you go. So I know that probably looks really easy on here, but I would recommend at this point, just to make sure you don't lose that, is take your T8 and reinstall it moderately tight. Like I would do it tight enough to where you know it's not going to slide out again. Just once you get like a nice resisted turn, there you go. You can go ahead and reinstall everything. I wonder if I have, I don't think I have I don't think I have any T6s that are going to work on this. I really can't. Yeah, it's completely stripped. So I'm going to have to send that to Schrade to figure out what's going on with that. I saw a little bit of white Loctite on the Truex, so I don't know if that's necessarily what's going on with this one. But let's go ahead and get these back in. Let's see. Actually, the bit might be okay. It might just be that the bolt is stripped. Yeah, thank goodness. The bit is okay. But that bolt on that back corner is definitely stripped. And I'm just going to reach out to Schrade and see what they want to do about it. They might not do anything, but this will be a good chance to test out the warranty and see how they handle everything. All right, let's see here. I'm not going to worry about the pocket clip just yet. I'm going to check the... Let me loosen that just a little. Okay. Okay. Oh, I might need to put the T8 back in there. Hold on, let's see here. Oh, I think that's centered. That looks centered. I'm gonna take it off camera real quick. No, it's favoring the show side just a little bit. Give me 1 second. Actually, I'll show y'all what I'm doing on camera so you can see. And it could be because I over tightened one side versus the other, which is what you run into with like a Spyderco. All right. So I'll tighten this down a little. Oh, wow. I think that's dead center. Let's check the play. Now it's got a lot of play. So I'm going to try to go to the other side. Oh, it's sliding on me. Hold on 1 second. Okay. We'll see if I can pay attention to which way it moves as I do this. Yeah, so I need to loosen this one. Whoops. And tighten this one. Oh no, it's still moving. Hold on. Might need, there we go. All right, let's check it there. Nice and tight. Let me check it with my good hand. Nice and tight. And centered. Yeah, man, changing that pocket clip out would make this an absolute monster. And I still say the same thing, blacking out the hardware. But anyway, at least you got to see the maintenance piece of this. I will reach out to Schrade about that screw and see if I can get them to tell me how they want to handle it, because these came loose just fine, but for whatever reason, the ones, oh wait, that's the T8. Let me grab my T6. The ones on the pocket clip side just don't want to go. And I'm scared to keep trying to do that because I'm afraid of stripping out both of these. Let me just try here and see what happens. Okay, so this one would come loose. Oh, it did come loose. Hold on 1 second. Did come loose. So let me tighten it back up because I don't want to lose any bolts on here. So maybe it was just that one. Perhaps I didn't have, I should have used the right tool. So that could potentially, and most likely could, you know, is on me. Let me lay these flat. I have found that this reminds me so much of working on a Spyderco. I think Benchmade at the very least does the D shape on the edge of their hardware to keep it from falling apart. Yeah, so that feels tight. So this one here, probably my fault that it's stripped. Yeah, so I don't want to keep messing with it. I'm going to try one more trick my grandfather taught me about these. When they start to strip like that, you might be able to carefully fit an oversized bolt in there and work it out, or you might strip it more. I can't believe that worked. Did that work? Oh my God, that worked. I can't believe I'm getting this to work on camera. I was like, I'm gonna look like a buffoon if this doesn't work, but my grandfather taught me that sometimes you can force fit a larger bolt's head in and get it to come loose, and that totally worked. So that could be something that you can do to save yourself if you didn't want to send it in for warranty, or if they are going to say that they will not warranty it out. So just something to keep in mind that actually works. So all you would do at this point, reinstall your pocket clip. If your pivot works loose in any way, shape, or form, you would just need to go ahead and throw a little bit of medium Loctite on there to finish getting that done. I don't want to make this too long, so I'll reinstall that bolt and pocket clip off camera. If you enjoyed today's video, if you could do me a favor, leave a like. Consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. If you're enjoying the content, I would be happy to have you follow along. I appreciate all the support from everyone out there that is already subscribed, leaving the likes and the comments. I hope all of you have a fantastic day, and until next time, peace.